It is Friday, April 17th, 2020, and you are tuned into DIRTRACKR Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. A couple of news items to get to today, a little bit of racing to talk about, and we'll talk about kind of what to get into this weekend, what to watch this weekend if you are looking for a little dirt racing fix. First of all, the World of Outlaws announced yesterday they have postponed the Hawkeye 100 late model weekend at Boone Speedway. That was supposed to have happened May 1st and 2nd. They also postponed the Sprint Car Series races from May 1st and 2nd at Lawton Speedway in Oklahoma and Devil's Bowl Speedway in Texas. No makeup dates were part of the announcement. They encourage you to hold on to your tickets. If you would like more information, you can visit worldofoutlaws.com. I guess once we get back to racing, they'll have more information about those rescheduled dates. Front Row Challenge Enterprises announced yesterday they are bringing racing to Park Jefferson Speedway in South Dakota in just 8 days on April 25th. They plan to run 410 sprint cars for $5,000 to win and IMCA modifieds for $1,000 to win. Promoter Terry McCarl says they will follow mandates, state, local mandates, and the release also kind of lays out event policies for distancing. Tickets and pit passes to the event are limited, and the field will be capped at 32 cars per division. The race will also be streamed live on SpeedShift. At this point, South Dakota is one of the few states that have not issued a stay-at-home order. This appears to be one of the first, if not the first, attempt to go back racing again. We'll see if it actually happens or not. This is kind of one of those situations where it's cool to say you're going to go racing in 8 days, whether that happens or not. We're not sure. We've seen a lot of other people attempt to go racing and say they were going to go racing and then cancel or, at the very last minute or things like that. So we'll keep an eye out and see if this actually happens or not. If it does, we will certainly be there to give you the rundown and recap all of the action. But remember to, if you're going to participate in something like this, stay safe, do the things you need to do, wear masks and keep the distancing and wash your hands and all of those types of things, and make it as good as it could possibly be. The stars of USAC were back in action last night for another iRacing challenge on Flow Racing. This time they took to the Williams Grove Speedway in midgets. 53 cars participated in qualifying, with Days and Pursley going quick time over Cannon McIntosh and Aiden Purdue. Heats were won by Pursley, McIntosh, Purdue, Zeb Wise, Robert Dalby, and Carter Scharf. In preliminary feature action, the big story was Nick Drake. He went from the D all the way into the night's feature after having a little bit of a struggle in his heat race. Last Saturday's winner, Days and Pursley, started on the pole with Cannon McIntosh on the front row of the feature. The event was originally scheduled to go 30 laps, but we had another race marred by cautions and crashes and just kind of absolute madness. They needed all 5 green-white checkers to get the feature finished. They ended up running an additional 16 laps to be able to get all the way to the finish. I'm actually really surprised that we didn't have guys running out of fuel at the end because, a few extra laps is one thing, but 16 extra laps is something else entirely. So incredible that they were able to make it to the finish on fuel. At the end, it was Pursley leading every single lap to grab his second USAC iRacing win. Aiden Purdue was second, Robert Dalby third, Austin Yarborough fourth, and Chris Wyndham in fifth. Braden Fox was your biggest mover, going from 21st to 7th. Nick Drake completed his alphabet run with a 13th place finish. But like I said, unfortunately, this week was another messy race with the lack of experience and kind of the high aggression and guys making big moves. All of that was kind of on full display. I'd hoped after last week's race that we would kind of see guys settle down a little bit and that maybe some of the officials would get them to chill out and actually just have some decent racing. But that didn't seem to want to be the case last night. So there's one more race left kind of in this USAC iRacing Challenge schedule next Thursday night. That will again be at 9 p.m. Eastern live on Flow Racing. And I guess we'll see if that means we'll have a good race in the last attempt here, if we'll see kind of another week of craziness. I think this is kind of unfortunate for some of those folks that haven't been exposed to some of the other iRacing, because some of the other shows have been really entertaining and really good. Some of the World of Outlaws stuff and a lot of the other shows that I've watched, even the Lucas Oil show last week, there's been some really good racing, even with some of the lack of experience and things like that. And I think kind of what guys need to do is really race these races like they would race if they were in an actual midget. And I think, it's easy to make big moves and to think, okay, it's not a big deal because it's not a real race car. But then, you kind of hurt the action and you hurt the entertainment value. So hopefully they can settle down for next week and we can maybe get some last racing for the final show on that schedule. If you're looking for something else to watch this weekend, Dirt Vision has 2 more watch parties. They start tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. They will show the 2005 Illinois Fall Nationals from the Illinois State Fairgrounds, followed by a 2007 show from the Farmer City Raceway. They've been doing these, they show these races, and they've been, having kind of people chime in with some extra commentary. I know Dylan Welch has been a part of that, and they've had some different folks each week to kind of talk about kind of midstream of these races, what's things to look at and what was going on and things like that. So this week for the late model portion, Shannon Babb, Scott Bloomquist, Justin Allgaier, and Jason Fager are providing commentary. That's tonight. Tomorrow night on Saturday, it's a trio of shows from Eldora for the sprint cars. That's also starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. They'll be showing all 3 nights of the 1986 Eldora Nationals. They'll have special guest commentary from Bobby Allen, videographer Greg Stevens, Kenny Jacobs, Ron Schumann, and Danny Smith. You can watch all of those as part of your Fast Pass, plus they have single night passes available if you do not have a Fast Pass and would like to tune in. Those have been really fun. If you haven't tuned into those, they're pretty neat. Last week they did the couple of Bristol shows for the sprint car stuff. So a lot of neat stuff going on the Dirt Vision watch parties, and the iRacing stuff is going to continue on Dirt Racing or on Dirt Vision going forward as well. So you can check out some of that stuff over at dirtvision.com. Also this weekend, Dirt on Dirt has another weekend rewind going on featuring the best of the summer nationals. I believe, I don't know if that started yesterday or today, and that might be starting today and running straight through Monday. I believe that's kind of just running 24/7 through the weekend with some of their kind of best of summer nationals content from the last several years. You can find that over at dirtondirt.com. And Flow Racing continues with USAC 24/7. USAC races from the USAC archive going on all the time, every day. And they'll also have a fresh Thunder Relived on Saturday night at 8 p.m. featuring USAC sprint car driver Jason McCord and kind of his rise in career. You can check that out over at flowracing.com. So lots of stuff going on. If you're looking for other things or kind of want to have a schedule to kind of keep up with, you can find that over at dirttracker.com/watch tonight. I've been putting all of these shows into that pay-per-view schedule, so you can keep up with all of that over there, dirttracker.com/watch tonight. In addition, Lucas Oil eSports is back starting tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, live on the Lucas Oil Facebook page. Last week they had, who'd they have? Argabright, Dillner, and James Essex calling all the action, kind of just like a standard Lucas show. I would imagine it will be the same tonight. Late models for Lucas Oil will take on the Kokomo Speedway. The field again includes a locked-in group of actual late model drivers, and then they ran an open race last night with a couple of transfers moving on to tonight's 8 o'clock show. A lot of guys participated in that last week. Some big names, Jonathan Davenport and Jimmy Owens, and a lot of guys. And like I said, the racing was really fun last week, and I don't see any reason why that wouldn't be the case tonight. Also, Lucas Oil ASCS is hosting their first iRacing event tonight at 5. That starts at 5 p.m. Central Time, so 6 p.m. Eastern, from the Williams Grove Speedway. That's going to be live for free over on Racing Boys. They expect somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 cars, I believe, to compete in that race tonight. A little different format for those guys. If you are a regular follower of the Lucas Oil ASCS, they normally run a passing points format, but that passing points thing is not really available as part of the package of iRacing, so they'll kind of be running a more standard qualifying heat race type format. So that is at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern over at Racing Boys. You can watch that for free, so check that out tonight. That's the show for this week. A lot of stuff we covered this week. Hopefully, everybody's staying safe and getting to spend some time with some family and kind of take advantage of this time, because this is obviously unprecedented. But just because you might be stuck at home or things like that doesn't mean that this can't be a positive thing, and try to turn it that way. Try to spin it that way. This thing is all about matter of perspective, and as long as everybody around you is healthy and happy, let's make this into an opportunity to make ourselves better and stronger and spend some time with family, and hope everybody has a good weekend. We will certainly be back on Monday with a new show. I believe the Monday show is actually show number 50, so I can't believe we're already up to 50 shows so far. But appreciate everybody that tunes into this show, whether that's the podcast version or you watch on YouTube and Facebook. Certainly appreciate you taking time out of your day to keep up with us, plus everybody that interacts on social media and checks out the website. I know you're out there, and I appreciate it. So you can find DIRTRACKR Daily on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or where you get podcasts. Please subscribe, leave me a review, tell your friends. You can also watch the show on YouTube and Facebook every single day. You can email the show at info@dirttracker.com. You can follow along with on facebook.com/dirttracker, twitter.com/dirttracker, and the website dirttracker.com. You can follow me personally on Twitter at Justin_Fiedler, and you can sign up for the Dirt Tracker weekly newsletter on the site. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you Monday for more Dirt Tracker Daily.